So we're going to start off with our first speaker. Linda Spear has a very nerdy job in cybersecurity, but she doesn't consider herself a nerd. She joined Toastmasters over 6 years ago to tackle her fear of public speaking. She hasn't spoken in a few years, so to get back into the habit, she's presenting her icebreaker speech. Please welcome Toastmaster Linda with her speech, A Change of Heart. Nice.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Linda. Family road trips in the Midwest when I was growing up, we would see grain growing on the side of the road. Alfalfa, wheat, corn, milo, soybeans. And how did I know this? Because my father was in the grain business. He would point out the health of everything. I had no idea, but I thought that all family vacations were full of pointing out the growing crops on the side of the road. One trip I remember specifically in Nebraska, I might have been 10 years old, and my dad, we had stopped to get gas, and I see this white cat in the window of the filling station, back when they were filling stations, and I said, and Dad goes, "Look at that Milo." And I go, "Dad, how'd you know that cat's name was Milo?" These are the jokes, folks, okay? I was born in Kansas City at the tail end of the boomer years. I like to say I'm a late boomer. My brother was 8 years older than me, and my parents were really surprised to be a parent with me, again, in their 40s. I had a happy childhood with my grandmother living with us. I had two intelligent, hardworking parents. They never really had the opportunity to go to college, but they really made the best of their lives. They were children of the Depression, so college was a luxury they never really had the opportunity to go to, though both of their children did. They would watch Lawrence Welk on Saturday nights. They would drink Carlo Rossi wine from the big old jugs. And I kind of had the squarest folks on the block. My mother was smart but not highly educated, but she always taught me to build myself up and not depend on marriage for my security. I saw her as a really unfulfilled person, limited by the times she lived in. My father was old school, born in Nebraska, of German immigrants. He had a stint in World War II, which affected him deeply. Like many men of his generation, he didn't really show his emotion, and he didn't talk about what he had seen, and I think it really affected him. My brother was 8 years older than me, and I idolized him. I really saw him more as a father than a brother a lot of times. He would buy me music in the late 60s and 70s. Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the Beatles, The Who. All of these things affected me and shaped me into the person I am today. I really loved that he shared that with me and gave me those things for Christmas, albums for Christmas, 8 tracks. I had an 8-track player. Who had that, in my room? So I was listening to a lot of music early on. My dad had a heart attack when I was about 12, and he wasn't really active in my life so much after that, but my brother really became like my father in a lot of ways. I went to the University of Kansas, go Jayhawks, and I received a degree in accounting and business administration. I took the practical approach that my Depression-era parents urged me to take. I earned a CPA and then went to work in the banking industry. I was an auditor for many years in banking. I got married, I moved to Houston, Texas, and I had 2 sons. Then my brother died unexpectedly of a heart attack when he was 42. I had a major paradigm shift in my life. I questioned everything. I questioned my job, my marriage, how I approached life, my fear of life at times. So I left my banking job. I was tied to a desk. I began to work remotely, and I could be home more with my kids, which was great. I traveled more, and I had more flexibility with my schedule. I went around the country and performed software training for many, many banks, and ended up visiting 47 of the 50 states. Eventually, my career brought me to Central Florida, brought our family to Central Florida in 2001, While that job didn't last, it propelled me into my current career as an information security consultant, or as they say, cybersecurity, as Carson knows. My marriage ended, but as Roy said, it was for the best. I was finally honest about how unhappy I was, and it was a lot of that was due to that paradigm shift of losing my brother. It was tragic, but it really made me dig deeper into myself and become more of a risk taker. There's some good to that, and there's some bad to that. I will always now take those chances and do adventurous things. I became more physically active. I did more things to go out on a limb. Coming to Toastmaster was one of those things. Another thing was I became more adventurous with physical activity. I started doing triathlons several years back now, and I really enjoyed that part of becoming adventurous. I became a long-distance bike rider, and all these things have taken me to, I've done in Italy. I have really gone to see things that I've always wanted to see. But health wasn't really a motivator in a lot of that activity. It became a rush. Reaching your goals became part of who I am. And it really gives you that. If you get into triathlons, you will discover that it pushes you hard. And sometimes when I'm out on those early morning bike rides, I think of my brother. When maybe the sun is coming over the horizon, or I'm seeing some beautiful scenery, I say he's not here anymore to enjoy those mornings, but I am, and I enjoy it for both of us. Thank you, everyone.